Hey guys, how are you? Well, I am so excited that you have decided to tag along for this new series, Comp Week, all about the compensation plan, Young Living's compensation plan. Are you with Young Living? Well, let me tell you, when I very first got started with Young Living, I decided to do the business the month that Young Living changed their compensation plan. And so it was kind of a blessing in disguise, because when I began, no one in the upper leadership fully had this huge grasp on how the compensation works. They were learning it for the first time, just like I was. And so when I began the journey with the business out of Young Living, I was bound and determined that I was going to know the compensation plan backwards and forwards. And so I don't know if many of you were along for the journey back then, and maybe you were on my team, but I started creating videos somewhat similar to this, kind of like where I went and pressed play and I came around and I have my phone sitting up on books, like nothing crazy professional. And do you know what? Through the years that I have come to discover is that more people request those old videos that were poor lighting, glares on the board, I'm rambling, there's noises in the background, trains going by. I don't live near a train right now, and so you're not gonna be hearing that. But those are the most requested videos to date, still, even after I went and bought fancy video equipment and I did all of these things, people would still say, hey, can I have the link to those old videos? So I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna re-record the videos and we are gonna make it very casual, just like we did back in the day. One of the things that people said, I ran into somebody recently, actually on a cruise, and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm in your organization and I just want you to know I hit silver and I've been with you from the beginning, right when watching those old videos. And I said, what is it that you loved about the old videos? Like, talk to me, because I hear it all the time. And she said, honestly, it's because you were right there at those beginning stages and you were just figuring it out. And it's kind of like we could relate. It was these aha moments for you, and it was kind of what we were having as well. And I really want to kind of just get back down, make this very casual, and we're going to talk through some things. But before we dive into all of the videos, I want to tell you why I believe it is crazy important that you put a lot of attention and focus into understanding the compensation plan. I've told it over and over and over, but when I got started, if you followed along in my story, you know that I invested time laying a foundation in prayer. But the next thing I did was I understood the compensation plan. Now, it took a little while. It wasn't overnight, but I want you to know that I studied it, and I studied it some more, and I studied it some more. Every single day when I would get ready, I would go into this little side bedroom that we had set up for our computers, and I would open up the computer and I would blow dry my hair every single morning looking at the compensation plan. I listened to the podcast. They had this podcast, and I listened to it. I listened to it again. It was over an hour. And I listened to it a third time. And the fourth time I listened to it, I had my husband sit down with me and I said, I want you to just listen to it with me and see if I'm missing anything. We started going over it. And every day I was staring at the compensation plan. What was I looking at? I was looking at how much were the requirements to get to each level, to get to star, to get to senior star, to get to executive, to get to silver, to get to gold, to get to platinum, to get to diamond, crown diamond, royal crown diamond. I wanted to know backwards and forwards how you got paid. Now, I will always tell you that the Lord is first and foremost one of the main reasons for this success. But I'm going to tell you the very next thing is understanding the compensation plan. If you want to be successful in Young Living, you have got to understand how you're successful. How do you get paid? If you look at the income disclosure. You're going to see a wide variation of pays from each rank. And a lot of that has to do with volume, but a lot of it has to do with how you structure, how you're set up, how things are put together, what kind of foundation do you have. And you don't know how to build a strong foundation if you don't understand the compensation plan. So I'm so glad that you are investing this time into your business, because it is one of the key things that you're going to need to find success in this business. I cannot tell you, I've been in it 4 years, how many times I sit down with people that tell me I'm just not comfortable explaining it just doesn't click. I don't get it. And hey, listen, I want you to know that I understand there's a large group of people that consider themselves numbers people. They're like numbers nerds. I would tend to say that I fall into that category. I love looking at numbers. I love looking at statistics. And I understand that there are some people that it's just not your cup of tea, okay? And so you may not sit up late at night and like get all giddy and excited about looking at the compensation plan, but sometimes we have to do those things that maybe we just don't like to do, but we need to do it to be successful. There's a lot of things that I don't think that I'm necessarily crazy gifted and wired at in this business, but I do understand that I have to incorporate elements of it if I want to find success on this journey. So I want to challenge you, if you don't consider yourself a numbers person, please, don't let it overwhelm you, but try to go over and over and over and over this again until it makes sense. Now, you can rely on these videos. You are more than welcome to share these videos as much as you wish. If you don't feel comfortable teaching it, share these videos. That's fine. I'm going to be going through this whole series with the compensation book. I wish I had it here in front of me. I'll show it to you in the next video. But you are more than welcome to use that. We're going to have that available for you. It goes along with these videos, whatever it takes for you to be comfortable in sharing it, but try so hard to just get this basic understanding of it. I was teaching a compensation class similar to this past last month to a group of leaders in my organization, and I told them a story that I get it when you don't feel like you're natural, that's your natural gifting at something, you tend to just not want to embrace it. And I told them a story about when I was younger, and my dad, I had this opportunity to either do, I think, Girl Scouts or play Little League softball. And I chose to play Little League softball, and it was very apparent very early on that I was absolutely no good at Little League softball. Actually, I was pretty horrific. And so going into the next year, my dad said, okay, here's the deal. You can keep on doing this, or you can quit, or you can do something different. And I said, no, I want to keep doing it. So he said, okay, so we're probably going to need to start practicing, and we're going to need do something every day. He didn't tell me this, but it was because I was no good at it, let's be honest. And so what we started doing is every single day for a whole year, my dad would get this big bucket of balls. I'll never forget it. It was this white bucket of balls, pour balls in it, and we'd go out to the sidewalk. He'd dump those softballs out on the ground, and he'd flip that bucket over, and he'd sit down on it, and he would pitch me the ball, and I would pitch to him. And he said, Monique, you're going to learn how to be a pitcher. Now, I am just not that athletic, you guys, seriously. Just not my natural gifting. But do you know what I did? Every single day, I pitched softballs to my father. Every single day. It wasn't my natural, easy gifting ability, but every single day I did it. And can I tell you, the next year I started pitching. And the next year I kept on going. And one of my very last years, I think maybe I was 13 years old, I was actually pitching for the starter pitcher in our All-Star League. So I want you to know that even though something is not your natural gifting, is if you practice it long enough, you can still be okay at it. And maybe even excel in it. So I want to tell you that if you are that type of person that just says numbers are not my thing, just look at this every day, okay? It may be painful for you. I get it. Look at it every day, because if you are going to find success in this business, this is going to be key. You've got to understand it. You have no clue how you are going to hit silver if you don't know what it takes to hit silver. How in the world are you going to make it to Royal Crown Diamond if you don't know what it takes to get to Royal Crown Diamond, okay? So it's very important. I am glad that you are investing in you. The way that we're going to go through this is we're going to take it very short videos at a time, okay? I'm going to promise I'm going to try my hardest not to get long-winded, okay? Pinky promise. That's hard for me. But we're going to go through these videos. We're going to break them down into simple steps that go along with that compensation book, okay? We're going to break it down. And then what we're going to do, when I'm originally filming these videos right now, I'm sharing them with my personal team. And then that evening, we are going to go through, and on a Facebook Live video, they're going to ask questions. And I will not leave the dry erase board until every single question is answered and people feel as if it is crystal clear. And then I'm going to upload that video to YouTube and share with everybody as well. Because if my team has the questions, I'm sure that these questions are going to come up over and over and over again. And hopefully that's going to answer. And so the Facebook Lives, if you get it, if the videos that we do earlier, those very first videos, if they're crystal clear, then you don't necessarily need to watch that Facebook Live video if you get it. Or maybe you want to watch it to see what kind of questions arise, to where you can figure out how to answer it if your team members have the same question. And they're going to build on each other, and then they're going to build on each other. Please do not go to the next video until you feel as if the last video you watched, you fully understand. I don't know if you remember algebra in high school, but a lot of times it builds on each other. It builds, and if you didn't understand the day before, you're sure as heck not going to understand that day, okay? So just stick in there with me. I really believe you can do this. Invest in your learning. Be intentional. And we are going to set off on the right foot here to success, okay? Are you with me? All right, so here's the deal. Again, crazy videos that we're going to do. I'm going to be doing it just like the old days. I'm going to run and press play. There may be stuff in the background. I may mess up on my words, but we're going to get through it. All right? Okay. I love you guys. This is going to be loads of fun. I promise. See ya.